filing for bankruptcy, what's the real cost? What do people really pay if they need to file bankruptcy with a bankruptcy attorney? My name is Philip Tirone with Evergreen Financial Counseling. I'm here with Matthew Frey. Matthew is a bankruptcy attorney in Northern Michigan. So what's the real cost of filing bankruptcy with a consumer bankruptcy attorney? Because a lot of people, you can file pro se, and there's a set of costs. But then to get it with a bankruptcy attorney, a lot of people think it's expensive and they can't afford it. Todd, let's talk about that.
Attorney fees are going to vary depending on who you go and what you're trying to do. Okay. You've got two basic types of attorneys that are out there. You've got a whole bunch that are very bare bones. They do very little on your case. They're there to basically fill out a bunch of forms. They'll show up at your hearing. Once your hearing's over, they shake your hand virtually now, if we're not in person, and they wish you the best of luck. Those attorneys in Michigan, we're a little cheaper state. Attorney fees are probably going to be around $1,000 to $1,200, $1,300. Some attorneys will start some add-ons in there. There's a lot of stuff where I don't want to say they bait and switch, but if you've got a garnishment that you need to get some money back from that the creditor took right before your bankruptcy, a lot of times I see they have a little commission on that. Maybe they take a third of what you get back. If you've got some reaffirmation agreements or some motions or other issues, fees start getting added on. So, there's a number of firms that advertise these, billboards, starting as low as. Well, they don't tell you the upper limit. So those are kind of the ones that people will say, well, so-and-so told me they got it done for, really cheap. And why are you more than that?
Yeah.
And, we tell them because we do more. You've got to decide with the bankruptcy what you want to get out of it. If you are looking to just file some forms, get your discharge, hope for the best, then yeah, you want to go as cheap as possible.
But Matthew, devil's advocate, everyone's going to get their debt discharged at the end of the day, don't you think? Even with the cheap attorneys.
That's not always true.
Oh, really? Oh,
the cheap attorneys don't always spend time going through a case with the client. Don't ask the questions that are going to cause problems. The cheap attorneys operate on a pure volume basis.
got it. Yeah. Okay.
They're typically, they have a handful of attorneys, have a ton of paralegals or other assistants, non-attorneys preparing the forms. And those individuals typically are not going to be up to speed on, what are the hot button issues of the day.
Yeah, right.
And you will find this out when you go through your creditor's exam and you're not case number one. The trustee all of a sudden will ask the first few people, let's say 6, 7 questions, and you'll get to one of those. Often there's 12, 11, 13 questions.
Because there's mistakes in the paperwork.
And there's mistakes in the paperwork. And if you know what you're looking for, you can hear it. They start asking about what'd you do with certain amounts of money?
Yeah.
What happened here? What was this for? What was that for?
So the reality is they could pay $1,000 or $1,200 as cheaper attorney.
That's right.
And then it gets dismissed. They have to start all over again.
It gets dismissed, or you take what could have been a low stress process and it becomes a very stressful process, or in many cases it can become what we call an asset case, where now there's some legal differences. You go from not having to pay any money towards your debt to now the trustee's saying you got to cough up some money. Well, that's going to be problems.
Okay, so on a high side, let me just, like in Michigan, what's probably the most expensive attorney out there in Michigan?
The most expensive attorney in Michigan is probably going to be a little north of $2,000.
Okay. So
with just the attorney fees?
Yeah. And I mean, nationwide, I can tell you the bankruptcies on average are probably $2,000. Like if you look nationwide, right?
Sure.
And then I would say on the high side, I think I have one attorney charges $3,250 for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. But it all depends on the location and stuff like that. Now, another thing about the real cost, what it costs to file bankruptcy, a lot of people think they got to pay it all at once. That's not the case.
No.
I mean, you accept payments. I don't know any bankruptcy attorney, actually, out of the hundreds we represent, that do not accept some type of payment plan, whether it's before or after the filing, right?
Right.
Everyone accepts payment plan.
And there's payment plans work for a lot of reasons. One is because when someone wants to go forward, they need time to get their documents together. They can use that time to make payments, and that'll also encourage them to get the documents in, so that everything can get going faster.
So let's just say someone retains you and starts making a payment. They can tell the creditors when they're calling, "Don't call me anymore. I'm being represented by a bankruptcy attorney," right?
That's right. Once there's a signed retainer and there's some payments have been made, we advise clients tell the creditor that you're being represented. They'll typically call the office. They'll confirm representation, and there'll be a window they leave you alone. Is it going to last forever? Not necessarily, unless you get the case filed. So you got some crunch there, but it will buy you some reprieve. It'll give you your phone number back for a little bit there, clear the mailbox up a little bit. But there's a window. You can't use that line forever.
So then now let's talk about Chapter 13s. Chapter 13s are federally regulated fees based on the district, right? And what's weird, right?
Yeah, Chapter 13 fees come in two variety. All courts have what they call a no-look fee, which means they've already kind of rubber stamped what they think your local attorney is worth. And that's a normal fee. Every jurisdiction is going to be a little bit different. Some have some various fees. Most of them have just a single, here's what it is. And sometimes I'll walk clients through some of the math on how they get there, because there's some nuances which people say that's so expensive, but I tell people it's really not, and there's a reason why that number comes. There's an actual mathematical basis. It's not just kind of made up off the top of somebody's head somewhere. Or you can choose to have your attorney do what's called a fee application, and then they simply bill you hourly. Now, typically, I've seen hourly billing always exceeds the no-look or regular flat fee. The attorneys take the lower fee, not because we're kind necessarily, but because it's a lot less work for us to keep track of every time we talk to a client, every email that's sent, received, or read, every time we handle a piece of paper on a file. When you start doing that, you really start to realize how much time goes into these cases. And for a Chapter 13, can easily go just even before the 341 hearing or confirmation, certainly, and go 10 to 15 hours without blinking an eye.
Yeah.
If not more.
It's interesting about Chapter 13 fees. We did this analysis of all Chapter 13 fees in every district. Southern District of California, very expensive. San Diego, that area, $3,600 no-look fee. If you go up to Sacramento, the Northern District, not on the beach, right?
Yep.
$8,500 no-look fee. Matthew Frey, filing bankruptcies in
All of Michigan.
All of Michigan. And my name is Philip Tirone with Evergreen Financial Counseling, a nonprofit committed to helping people navigate the maze of what's the right way to solve our debt problems. Matthew, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Philip.
Bye-bye.